Well, welcome back, and here we are with processing, and we have our processing input screen. And if you recall from the last lesson, when we clicked on this little button here, we got this little neat pop-up window. And we could also change its size. We could come here and close this, and remember the keyword was size, S-I-Z-E. And what size did we have? Something ridiculous, I think. So X, let's make X 500, and let's make Y the height, say 150, and then let's end it with a semicolon. So what we did here is we have size, that's the command, and inside the parentheses we put the X value, a comma, and then the Y value. The X, of course, is horizontal, the Y is vertical. We ended it with a right parentheses and then a semicolon. Let's see what happens now. Do that, and there it is. As the size of this way, X is 500, and the Y is 150. Okay, one of the things that we didn't talk about last time is how can we change the color of that? And also, how can we put text up on there? It'd be nice to be able to put text up on that screen. So let's look at another command that we can use, and it's called background, B-A-C-K-G-R-O-U-N-D. And the background I'm going to put a 0, and then another 0, and another 0. And you're saying, oh, wait a minute, how did you know that there were 3 values that went in there? The reason why is that colors on a computer are made up of red, green, blue, RGB values. And the RGB values go anywhere from 0 to 255. I'll demonstrate. Let me click on this dude here. See what the zeros are. And all zeros mean that the background is now black. All right, that's fine. Let's go up here. Let's change this first one here. This is R for red. The center one is RG is green, and then blue. Let's make this first one here 255 and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Right there, we got them. And look, now the background is red. All right, so if I made this other one, the middle one here, 255, 255, and I made this one here a 0, like this. Now it should be green, right? Oh, I made it 155. Let me change that to a 255. Okay, and there we go. Now the background is green. And I could do it for blue here. Now if I combine some of these colors here, let's say I made red to be 100. And I stopped this and then I started this again. Now it's sort of a, what is it, like a lemon? So by combining these values, I can change my background colors to different colors. So what I want to do right now is I want to leave this as black, and you'll see the method to my madness for this. All right, I'm going to put a 0 there, and then I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to start it again. All right, there it is, nice and black. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put some text in there, because if I can put text in there, I can start seeing on my screen the effect that my program is having. And to put text in there is called text. And the text I want to put in, anytime you're using text in programming, you always put it inside quotation marks. That way it knows that it's text, that it's not a number. And I'm just going to put hello, H-E-L-L-O, with an exclamation mark, and then end it with, I'm going to end it with the right parentheses and a semicolon, and wait, and I got to end the quotation marks, right? Okay, and I did that. Let's try and see what happens. Look, it says, it gives me some kind of error message. Okay. Oh, you know why? Because it has to know where I want to place the text. In other words, where on this background do I want to place it? Where in X and Y do I want to place it? So I have to put a comma here, and let's say that I want to place it, about halfway down. So let's say along the X, left and right. Let's say that where I want to put that is around 70. I'm just sort of guessing here, comma, and then coming down, let's say I want it at about 75. Okay, now let's see what happens. Boy, that was a close one, huh? And there's my text. Can you see it? It's really small. See, it says hello. So I'd like to make my text larger. So it seems to me what I would be interested in is changing my text size. Okay, so let's try that. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put T-E-X-T and then capital S-I-Z-E. And then the text size is just going to be one number, right? So let's make it a 35. And it's going to be a number, okay? And there's my semicolon. Let's try the text size now and see what happens. Make it quite big. And there it is. Now it's a big hello. One of the things that you might notice here is that when I type these out, these commands like size are all lowercase, background all lowercase. When I come to text size, it's actually two words, isn't it, joined together? All right, notice that it starts out with a lowercase, but then when it comes to the second word, it's uppercase. So what's the reason for that? The reason for that, it's called camel case. Like if I had, this is my text size, like I had 3 words, the first word would always be lowercase and everything else is lowercase. Second word uppercase, third word uppercase, fourth word uppercase. It's like the humps on a camel's back. And so this processing is consistent with using camel case. So like, for example, this is just one word here, and it says text, and of course it wanted to know, hey, where do you want to put the text? Okay, notice the order that I put these commands here. That's important. All right, so let's say the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to change the color. I wanted to change the color of the text. Well, I can't do background because that changes this right here. So what I'm going to use is another command called fill, F-I-L-L. So I'm going to go fill, F-I-L-L, and it's going to be RGB again. And let's say that I'm going to fill, I want to make it red, 255. That's the red value. Our green value is 0, and the blue value is 0. And I come over here and I close the parentheses and I put a semicolon here. And now I'm going to stop it and then try it again. Oh, the reason why is, notice I had the fill down here. I had the text display first and I told it to fill it with a color. So like I said, the way I do this is important. So let me do this. I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to do a Control X. That'll copy it and remove it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to backspace here to bring this up. And then I'll come here and hit the Enter key, and I'll do a Control V to paste it. And now it's going to fill it first and then display it. So fingers crossed, let's hope I get it right. And there it is. Now it's a red hello. Okay, so to wrap this lesson up, let's see what we did. This first command here, size, had 2 what we call parameters. What goes inside these parentheses is called an argument. This argument for size had 2 parameters, the X value, that is along here, and the Y value, that is up and down. This command here, background, had 3 parameters in its argument. The reason why is that was red, green, and blue. This particular command here, text size, which is using camel case, has one argument, as you would figure, just the text size. It has one parameter inside its argument. One parameter inside its argument. This one here, fill, which is going to be a color again, inside its argument has three parameters for red, green, and blue. And notice you got to give it ahead of time. This particular one here, text, that has the text you want to display, which must be inside quotation marks, opening quotation marks, closing quotation marks. And it actually has three parameters inside its argument. The first one here tells me where it's going to start along the X, that is from here to here. The next one tells me where the bottom, how far the bottom of the text will be from the top. Let me illustrate what I mean by that. If I put a 0 here, like this, and then I went and did it again, come on, you can do it. Now I can't see the text. The reason why is because I said I wanted the bottom of the text to start right up here. Well, that's where the bottom of the text is now, and I'm not going to see dip. For example, let me just put a 10 there, just to give you an idea. And let me try it again. See, there's just the bottom of the text. That's because this is 10 pixels right from there. So I have to put a much larger value in order to bring this text down. Okay, that should wrap it up for this one. We got more exciting and really interesting things to do in our next lesson. In the meantime, thank you for watching.